On this week's episode, Jamie and I cast our perfect Boston Christmas movies. Mark Hamill speaks up on the 5-year anniversary of The Last Jedi, a review of a new inspirational movie based on true events, and a montage of our favorite Christmas movies. For the Hub on Hollywood, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. This is going to get hilarious and ridiculous, so here we go, folks.
Let's go. All right, Jamie, we are close to the big day. We are close to Christmas. That means we've been, at least here in Casa de Rojas, been binging on our Christmas movies that we've been watching so far, going through our favorites and some of our, our not so favorite movies. Do you do that also in Casa de Galant?
Casa de Galant, de Blanco Galant. We've been watching a few, and there's the classics that you've got to get the kids up to speed on, and apparently my husband, who is very deprived, there are lots of classic movies that he hasn't seen, we've been hitting them, and we've been watching a few new ones, and you and I, James, have been coming up with our own dream Boston movies, which we're going to get into in a little bit, and that is going to be a blast. What have you been watching, though? What Christmas movies are you getting into?
So we have so far seen a Muppet Christmas movie. That's not the official title, but it's a Muppet Christmas movie. We've watched a Garfield Christmas special, which is years and years old. Yeah. Recently watched The Grinch that starred Benedict Cumberbatch that came out in 2018. Mm-hmm. And this is not the name of the movie, but I call it this movie. It's called I call it a very Linda Hamilton Christmas movie. She of course played Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies, and she's in this kind of Lifetime Christmas movie. It's one of those movies where there are a lot of things about it that make no sense, but my wife loves it. She loves Linda Hamilton, and she can do no wrong, and so that's something that's in our rotation a lot.
She can't do no wrong, so that's a good call.
What about you?
Tonight we're going to be watching, the classics like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like the animation one, the claymation original, and the Snow Miser and the Heat Miser. Because my son has been hearing the songs and wondering, where that's coming from. Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas movies and stuff like that. So we're having a good time over here.
Yeah, our Christmas culminates when we watch the Muppet Christmas Carol, which is, I think, the definitive version of a Christmas Carol story. I know we did a review on Spirited, and that's its own take on the Christmas Carol, but the Muppets and Michael Caine, the definitive best version of that tale, of that Charles Dickens story.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, let us know what your favorite Christmas movie is. We're going to go down a rundown at the end of this episode with some folks on the street to see what they love to watch, but let us know down in the comments at Hub on Hollywood. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of the social media, so leave a comment down below, and we'll give you guys a shout out.
You know what should be considered a Christmas movie and is not? What? Is the Addams Family, the original Addams Family, 1991, with it starts with them pouring hot oil on Christmas carolers. So I don't know why that's not more in the conversation.
I guess you're right.
But I loved it. So.
Yeah,
anyways.
My wife also brought up Lethal Weapon. Apparently, she considers that like Die Hard, and a lot of people consider that a Christmas movie. She says no one says Lethal Weapon or considers Lethal Weapon as a Christmas movie, but it does happen, takes place during Christmas. So, let us know what you think should be added to the recurring list of Christmas-themed movies.
Right.
But let's hit these entertainment headlines. And Jamie, I don't want to rock your world because I don't want to bring up, we're both very passionate about The Last Jedi, our thoughts on the movie, for better or for worse, but we have hit the 5-year anniversary of the Rian Johnson Star Wars film.
Has it been that long?
5 years. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
It's insane. But this person, a Fluke Skywalker, at one Fluke Skywalker on Twitter, reached out to Mark Hamill, asking him several questions. He went, number one, do you have any anecdotes or memories from making the film you would be willing to share? Mark Hamill responds, not really. Next question, have you changed your mind about anything after these past 5 years? A little. Would you have done anything differently? Yes. He says, thank you. Mark Hamill says, you're welcome. So,
oh my God, Mark, come on.
So he has his opinions have changed a bit, but he does say that there are plenty of things apparently that he would do different. We know that Mark Hamill was not a big fan with how Luke Skywalker was portrayed in Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi. I am on the same side of that opinion. I believe that the version of Luke that we got was maybe not as true to the character as we would have hoped. But what are your thoughts on initially
I think
hearing
that the version of the character that we got was hyper realistic. That was, probably what would have happened to this character in real life. And, knowing Luke from the beginning, he was always like a little whiny brat, and when things didn't go his way, like he kind of like lost confidence. And I feel like it was a little hyper realistic maybe, and not like because he's a hero, but he also has faults. And I think it took a lot of courage to show a hero who has, fallen at his lowest point and then gets back up. I think that maybe, I think the only thing that I would have changed was the blue milk. That was like, I was like gagging in the theater.
Yeah, that was utterly disgusting.
But maybe save his death for the next installment. I can kind of see that. But anybody who knows me knows that I love The Last Jedi. I adore almost everything about it. And Rey and Kylo Ren, Adam and the other actresses relationship were so spot on in the beating heart of that movie. And it was courageous. He took a risk, and I appreciate that, instead of all of the backtracking and regurgitating things that we've already seen that then followed. I am a fan of courageous takes and artistic, expression and moving the story forward and moving characters forward. Sorry, I'm banging on the desk. But you know what? I love Mark. I love Mark to death. And, he is allowed to feel the way that he feels. And he was there on the scene. So you know what? And I love how he's honest, but he's not going to go into depth. He's not going to drag anyone under the bus. He's a class act. And, that's why we all love Mark Hamill.
Absolutely, and I will not regurgitate my thoughts on The Last Jedi. We'll let viewers go back to our old
each
episodes.
Other's necks. Yeah.
No, so let me. So here's this latest news: the latest slate of movies added to the U.S. National Film Registry include Iron Man, When Harry Met Sally, Little Mermaid, as well as Hairspray. And Carrie as well, the horror film. But wow. Iron Man, latest superhero movie to be added to the film registry. I think that's appropriate because of the enormous impact it has left and created for the film industry. We wouldn't be where we are today in this MCU universe and even DC universe without Iron Man.
It birthed it all. It was the very beginning. It was, and I'm so glad that I got to witness that, James. We got to witness the birth of all of these great, expansive, cinematic superhero franchises, from the very beginning. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. Maybe not all the movies were beautiful to watch, but just it was so cool watching the birth of all of these franchises from the very first one, Iron Man, which was so great. I don't feel like it was my favorite Marvel movie of all time, but it was based enough in reality, and it created such a robust world for Iron Man and everyone that followed. So obviously that deserves to be there. Yeah.
And it gave us back Robert Downey Jr., a national treasure.
Of course, RDJ!
So thank you, Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige. Speaking about superheroes, however, these movies were not so acclaimed and will probably not make the National Registry. Henry Cavill, he is confirming that he is no longer Superman. Unfortunately, I know, yes, just hours after director James Gunn revealed his next Superman flick will focus on a younger version of the character, Cavill posted on social media that he will not be reprising his role as the Man of Steel. A lot of people disappointed, myself included. Mm-hmm. I will say right now, I am not a fan of much, if any, of the movies that have Henry Cavill Superman. However, I do believe that he is one of the best Superman that we've ever had. Like, he portrays the character and does the character justice, but the movies and the studios did not do him or the character justice at all.
Agreed. Agreed. The writing, the darkness of all of it, the plots, like, that's not Henry Cavill's fault.
Bad storytelling.
Bad storytelling, and that's not his fault. And as we've seen, Henry is in huge demand, and his acting is on point. I mean, he was Witcher. He's no longer Witcher anymore either. I mean, what's going on here? He played Sherlock Holmes in the Enola Holmes series, 1 and 2 movies that just came out. Enola Holmes 2 came out. That was really cute also. He's got range. He's got ability. He's got talent. He's not just muscles, ladies, okay? He builds computers. He plays video games. Oh, yeah, he does. But he builds computers. He loves video games. He's a big nerd. He's like the OG nerd, which, we love and cherish and protect him at all costs, Henry Cavill. But, I'm not going to miss DC Superman. Maybe, hopefully they'll make changes as they look at like a younger him. But what really turned me off the most was like when they made him kill the Emperor Zod, was it?
General Zod.
In the first movie, General Zod, and then he's like, no, he does like the Darth Vader. Right, no thing. It's like, it's not your fault, Henry. It's not. But it is sad. I mean, he's evolving now. He's moving into something new. Where is he going?
Yeah, so Henry Cavill, now, don't cry too much for Henry Cavill. He will fall on his feet or land smoothly on his feet because he is Superman, of course. But he is set to star. Yeah, and he's set to star and executive produce a Warhammer 40,000 franchise for Amazon Prime Video. The story is set in the very far future where humanity stands at the edge of what might be its brightest future or its darkest age. This is based off a video game series, and as we mentioned, Henry Cavill, self-identified nerd. He, like The Witcher, very passionate about these projects and about this role. So he says that he will put his full energy into this and try to keep the story and the characters as true to character as possible for himself and for the fans. But just to wrap this up, I like Henry Cavill and his Superman, I compare him to Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man, because even though the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies were not good at all from the storytelling or the studio making process of it, Andrew Garfield himself was a great Spider-Man. So great actors portraying really good and doing a very good job as the character, but being done wrong.
You know what? But Andrew Garfield got a great redemption in the latest Spider-Man No Way Home. And that was the biggest cheer from the audience. That was like the biggest reaction was when he got to make his save. If you haven't seen it already, but
everyone.
Big spoilers, but he got his redemption, and it was one of the most beautiful things. And he's such an incredible actor. And, last thing about Henry Cavill, that is every nerd's dream. Not only, you have all of these things that you love so very much, but to be able to make them come to life and star in them and do them justice, kudos for him. He is living dream upon dream upon dream. We love Henry Cavill.
We do. You go, Henry Cavill. Now, speaking about something that has mixed reactions. People love it. People, some people really hate it. But Avatar: The Way of Water, the sequel to the original Avatar that came out 13 years ago, it is now in theaters. And according to initial box office numbers, it brought in $17 million from a Thursday preview, and it is projected to make between $150 to $175 million in its opening weekend at the domestic box office. I was hoping to see it this weekend, but there are not enough hours in this weekend to watch a 3-hour plus movie.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to see it next weekend.
It's a once-in-a-generation event. When James Cameron comes out once a decade with a new film. I don't have the time to go see it either, but it is only in theaters, and that is really the only way to experience what they have done. James Cameron, always at the forefront of cinematic movie magic, creating new special effects, creating new technologies to bring you deeper, farther into these films and really engulf you in the story. And they've worked so long on this project, and everything that went into it is so amazing. Did you know that Kate Winslet's in it?
Yeah, so James Cameron and Kate Winslet teaming up again for another water adventure. The first one, of course, being Titanic.
didn't end so well. I mean, it did for the box office, but
Yeah.
for Kate Winslet, tough one too is the runtime.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a killer. It's 3 hours and 8 minutes, I believe. So you have to go in prepared. You need to train your bladder. You need to lead up to this movie to enjoy it.
That's definitely 2 VHS tapes. I owned, Titanic on the 2 double VHSs because it didn't. Right, so yeah, that's definitely 2 VHS sets right there.
Now, sticking with the water theme, but a much better story, from what I'm hearing, is this new movie called The Swimmers, based on true life events.
That's right. So on Netflix, this just came out. It's called The Swimmers, and it's based on the miraculous journey of these real-life sisters, Yursa and Sera Mardini, and their escape from Syria in the Syrian war, and then making their way to Europe, to Germany, and the sister Yursa making it to the Olympics. And, the real story of their family and everything that they went through, and how they almost died, and, their harrowing journey, escaping Syria and trying to get to Europe. It's heartbreaking. And I think that this movie is as close to perfect as you can possibly get, because they kept it as realistic and as true to their journey and everything that they went to as they possibly could. Yursa, who is still, she's only like 23 right now, and she's a UN ambassador. And while she didn't win any medals in the Olympics, just the fact that she was able to make it there, and she did win one of her heats, it's a heartbreaking, gut-wrenching story of everything that they survived. At one point, they were crossing this sea, trying to get to Greece. They were put in this dinghy, this overfilled dinghy with all of these people in a boat that was broken, and they had to jump out and swim for their lives while they were trying to get this motor restarted. And, there's women, there's children, there's all of these people fighting for their lives, over the course of 2 whole days. And they had to swim, hours and hours and hours, and eventually they were able to survive, and they made it. They made it because they could swim. They made it because, if they had gotten back in the boat, everything would have sunk and they all would have died. And it's just unbelievable. And then, living in the refugee camps and still being, and fighting to join a swim club, and fighting rejection and everything so that she could keep swimming and save her family and bring her family. And it's inspirational. It's eye-opening. Actually, the real life swimmer, Yursa, she is in the movie. Okay,
oh, wow.
So the actress does all of the face parts, but the parts in which she's actually swimming in the pool is the real life Yursa. So I highly recommend this. I highly, highly recommend this. New on Netflix. Just be prepared for the waterworks, and I'm not talking about the swimming, My husband who never cries, never. I've never seen this man cry, James. He was like, oh my God, someone's cutting onions. Oh my God. Like, he's like holding it back. Like, he was so emotional because he's an athlete too.
Yeah.
And, he just really, really connected with the story of these sisters. So, The Swimmers on Netflix, that is something that you need to see.
Excellent. So yeah, The Swimmers, that sounds amazing. And your husband crying, I think that alone is the best review that any movie can get, that you must go see this movie.
Really? No, it really, really is. You know what else that people should really see that they desperately need in their lives right now, James?
Ooh, tell me.
The Christmas movies that you and I have written. That we've created. I'm very excited. Okay, guys, if you've listened this far, and you better have, this is the highlight. Okay, you've made it to the end. This is it. This is the pinnacle. This is going to make your life. This is going to make your holiday season.
Yeah.
Because James and I have both created our ideal Boston Christmas movies or holiday movies, and frankly they need to be made. Okay, like if you are in the industry, like let's set up a meeting, let's set up a pitch, because these are that good. James, I'm gonna let you go first.
Let me just say really quick, this is copyright pending, so you can't steal this idea, Hollywood.
No, this is, we've written this down, like this is our intellectual property, all right? But if you want to help make us real, want to help us, bring it to the silver screen, then call me.
Okay, excellent.
Emails and at Hub on Hollywood, find us. We're everywhere you want to be. So,
so as we mentioned, this is our perfect Boston Christmas movie that will be available either on Lifetime, Netflix, or in the big screen, because I believe in this project. So let me first start with the catchphrase, the slogan of the film, okay?
Okay, go for it. Okay, this is James's. We're going to start with James first.
All right. This winter, love is in play, but only if these romantics shoot their shot and go Dunkin' for Christmas.
Oh, God.
All right. Let's get into this.
I mean, yes. Let's go.
All right. So, Dunkin' for Christmas follows the story of 21-year-old Miguel, played by Tony Revolori, who is a college student who goes to Boston University. This Christmas, he's hosting his father, Oscar, played by Oscar Isaac. Now, Oscar is a widow who put his own life on the sideline to care for his son. Though their lives have had their low points, they've always bonded over their love of basketball and the Boston Celtics.
All right.
Now,
all right.
Miguel takes his dad to a home game, and that's where he literally runs into 21-year-old Catalina, played by Jenna Ortega, spilling his Dunkin' iced coffee on Catalina's jersey. Very apologetic, he buys her a new jersey at the team store, a store where Catalina's mom works. She's played by Eva Longoria. Now, after Oscar finds them at the store, Miguel and Catalina see sparks in their parents' eyes. They team up to help their parents rebound, but while doing so, Miguel and Catalina notice their own attraction for each other and realize this plan may not have been such an easy layup. This winter, Dunkin' for Christmas.
No, that's cute.
Right?
I love it. Yeah, well, of course you got to get the Boston sports teams in there.
And the coffee and all that stuff.
And the coffee and all of that stuff. It's got to be a romance. It's got to be a romance. And so would you say yours is what, PG-13?
I would say it's PG. Yeah, of course. I'll say PG.
Okay. All right. So when we're done with this, we're going to be adding, we're going to be tweeting at all of these actors, and recruiting. Romantic Christmas movies with the Duncan and the dad. I love it. Because that's like the standard up. And, we've got not only do we've got all the we've got all the sports teams and whatnot. We've got the beautiful scenery and all the locations here. It's just the perfect place for Christmas,
snow.
Which is why that's why they make all the Christmas movies here in New England. There's so many that are out this year and just in general. Are you ready for mine though?
Let's do this.
Because James, this is my rated R.
Oh, goodness.
All right. This is not for the children. Okay. My Christmas movie, my Boston Christmas movie is not for the children.
We're reaching for different demographics here.
Different demos for sure. Okay. This is a Christmas comedy romance murder mystery.
Okay.
It's called Jingle Balls, a Merry Fucking Christmas Movie, Yankees Suck. That's the full title. All right. Jingle Balls, Merry Fucking Christmas Movie, Yankees Suck.
I'm listening.
Full title. Every word of it you need. Starring Sarah Silverman.
Okay.
So my cast is all Boston, local Massachusetts, New England people. Sarah's from New Hampshire, I believe. So starring Sarah Silverman in a Christmas movie. I know she's Jewish. That's the point. And there's a lot of jokes in the middle, because of that. Starring Sarah Silverman is Maggie McIntyre. Her dad's Leonard Nimoy, who's also a local. He's this wise, real wise guy. Gives great advice, but he's delusional. He thinks he's from outer space. And she's like, sure, Dad, yeah. Uma Thurman and Mindy Kaling are her friends, but they give terrible romantic advice. Anyways, Sarah is looking for holiday loving in all the wrong places, James. She meets this is a placeholder. She meets Casey Affleck. I know he's on the out. Nobody likes him right now. But anyway, but he fits the bill for this right now. She meets Casey Affleck, a Boston bad boy with ties to the mob and other generic mafioso Boston crime syndicate things. But it's fun. They have a lot of fun, doing bad things. But then she meets, a good boy with a foul mouth, Bill Burr. They meet in a market basket. And he works at Fenway Park. He's got this nice job. He's got a delightfully dysfunctional family. And she really falls in love with him when he lets her help him kick some Yankee fans out of the ballpark, out of Fenway. She's like, I could really, settle down with this guy. So do I want the bad guy, mob kid, or do I want, the Bill Burr, type, Boston guy who's, he's got a good job and he's, a decent guy. But as Christmas approaches, James, someone kills Wally the Green Monster at a holiday charity event at Fenway. And all, the suspicions are pointing everywhere. Who did it? And one of the top suspects, of course, is a very jealous Casey Affleck, because Sarah's been going out with Bill. And, Sarah's determined to get to the bottom of it. Who's the real killer? Who killed Wally? But in a really messed up ending, Casey was actually trying to save her from Bill Burr, who's the real murderer. And they start this ridiculous standoff, like they this ridiculous battle at the half shell during the Boston Pops Christmas performance. Turns into a melee, turns into a car chase that goes by, all the Boston landmarks. We get some cameos along the way, right? Ends at Fenway Park, where it's a standoff between Bill Burr, Casey Affleck, Sarah Silverman. But then, as just before they're about to kill each other, the Yankees walk in because they're getting ready for a game. They're walking in to get ready, and everybody teams up. All these mafiosos show up, and they team up to kick the crap out of the Yankees. And then, once they've destroyed the Yankees, Sarah and Casey and Bill Burr decide to just have an open relationship and have a three-way in the middle of the park. Because it's Sarah Silverman, and she's a very dirty comedian. With supporting cast, Tom Brady is a goat farmer. Who they come across in some farm out in I don't know where. Ben Affleck is tough as nails, police chief. Matt Damon is a skinhead, mafioso type, gangbanger, I don't know what. Steve Carell is a janitor who saw the murder, and Sarah interrogates him, right? And there's all these big, Boston cameos. And at the very end, it shows that Sarah slept with all of them. She's having a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
But, at the end, people are wishing her a Merry Christmas. And she's like, oh, no, I'm Jewish. It's, it's a Hanukkah. So, it's funny because it's a Christmas movie all the way up until the end. She's like, no, I'm Jewish. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, lots of holiday humor. Try to get as many Boston people in there as possible. In various cameos and whatnot. All the background, all the supporting roles, local talent. And I think that this movie needs to be made ASAP.
And repeat the name one more time of the movie.
Repeat the name of the movie, which is going to be in production very soon, is called Jingle Balls, a Merry Fucking Christmas Movie, Yankees Suck.
I love it.
Yeah.
Christmas, Yankees suck. So you're not expecting Yankees fans to go and watch this film, it sounds like. I guess not. This is going to be a hyper-local one. Don't worry, Boston fans will see it twice, and they'll make up the lost revenue.
They'll make up for it, yeah. I mean, does anyone outside of New York like the Yankees? I don't know. Everyone but New York people would be running to the theaters to see this one.
Excellent. So Hollywood, let us know. Give us a call. Those listening, let us know what you think. What are your thoughts on Duncan for Christmas and Jingle Balls, a Merry fucking Christmas, Yankees suck?
Yeah.
Let us know. Comment down below.
And people love making fun of Bostonians. I mean, it sells, is what I'm saying. We've got we've got a reputation, I guess.
Yeah, so when you're at home, you can watch Duncan for Christmas on Lifetime or on Netflix, and then you can and then once the kids are asleep, you have the babysitter, go to the movie theater and watch Jingle Balls, A Merry Fucking Christmas, The Yankees Suck.
Yeah, or HBO Max, maybe, maybe
Max.
one of those. Yeah. I think that's where that belongs. So what's your ideal Boston Christmas movie? What do we need to be watching? Because, I think as soon as we're done here, I'm going to start writing this. James, it needs to be made.
This is gold. Excellent. Well, I think that's a good send-off, a wrap-up for our Hub on Hollywood episode. We will end with a montage of what some local Bostonians, what they consider their favorite Christmas movie. So stick around for that. But yeah, this is a very jam-packed episode. Please follow us on all the social media, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We are there at Hub on Hollywood. If you are listening to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services, leave us a 5-star review. We're also on YouTube. Hit like, hit subscribe, and join the conversation. Let us pitch us your favorite Boston-based, Boston-themed Christmas movie. Let's see which one will be made made for theaters.
All right, yeah, exactly. And go local talent. We need everybody to keep making movies here in New England. We'd like to get you in the movies. We're taking a little break on casting calls because it's the holiday seasons. All the films that are being made here right now are sort of taking a break. So, join us next year for all of the exciting projects that are coming to New England, that are going to be here, and we will get you cast in the movies. Hang out with me on set. Until then, James, I'm Jamie.
I'm James. Ho, ho, ho.
Woo! Oh, what'd you call me? No, I'm kidding. All right, good night. Good night.
Bye. According to Scholaroo, the top 3 Googled Christmas movies are 2018's The Grinch, followed by Home Alone and Lindsay Lohan's Falling for Christmas. What's on your list?
Had to say, I would definitely say it's Home Alone.
Home Alone, the first one?
Close second would be Die Hard. I know some people say that's Christmas adjacent movie, but I feel like there's enough Christmas happening in the movie to put it on the list.
I would say my favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. Best Christmas movie.
I'd say The Grinch.
The Grinch. Mm-hmm. Now, is that the original Grinch or like the Illumination one that came out a couple years ago?
I like both of them, to be honest. I find both of them pretty good.
What was The Grinch? That's the new Illumination one that came out maybe.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay, I like it because I like Tyler, the Creator, and he has a song in that movie, and it's really good. So, but still Home Alone, because I also like when they're home alone.
I just saw Home Alone 2, which was really silly. And
not for the first time, I'm sure.
Yes,
wow.
For the first time. My children couldn't believe it was the first time.
I have a soft spot in my heart for the Muppet Christmas Carol, I'll say.
I think that's my favorite pick.
It's got some heart, it's got little Muppet rats, it's got everything you want for Christmas.
Love Actually.
Love Actually.
Yeah.
I like Elf. It's so funny. I feel like it's everyone's favorite. I didn't watch the new Lindsay Lohan one. I should.
I talked to somebody. They said they gave it a B-.
Well, she's on the back of my phone. Look, you should see. Yeah, look at her.
That's great.
I think it's nice that she got to make a feel-good holiday film for people of all ages to enjoy, people who grew up with The Parent Trap or other things. So, yeah, good for Lindsay. Glad she's back.
Definitely Home Alone.
Home Alone.
I like when he puts the cardboard cutouts on the train in the living room. So smart.
I don't remember that.
Do you guys plan on watching it very soon?
Maybe now. You've inspired us.
I know. We all need to clearly.
Let's go Home Alone and watch this one.
Oh my god.
At The Common, I'm James Rojas. For more of our best Christmas movies, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio.